Three matches in, you can't say, okay, we're going to make decisions on the Scudetto. But for sure, they're missing an element.
Parts of the car.
They're missing an element of
missing a tire,
of what it takes to win games. You know, like the two teams that look like they have their stuff more together, especially what we learned after today, are Juventus and Napoli. Two teams that, number one, defend really, really well.
Marco felt like it had absolutely everything, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Two teams that have so much quality. They understand what they do better than anyone else. It could have gone either way for a moment. Juventus were up. They threw the game away. We've said before, the amount of history, the amount of also, if we be honest, the hatred that goes into this game. The fans, they want to say that we beat you. Juventus fans want to say we beat Inter. And I think it's a big statement for Juventus fans that around the world that are watching this game and saying, the attitude is back. That fino alla fine that, for me, we've said it for 5 years and I haven't seen it. It's still too early to judge. It's only 3 games. But what a start to the season for Tudor, who, if we remember, at the end of last season, Juventus were looking elsewhere. They were looking at other coaches to come in and bring it. So much credit for him to bringing this back to the club.
I think a lot of people as well say of the last couple of seasons, Grell, where's the excitement for this Juventus side? I think the youngsters are saying it all with Yildiz, who you love, and now Adzic as well.
Yeah, he was good, and then Adzic gets his goal. The best day of his life, right? It's got to be 19 years old. You come on in this Derby d'Italia and you score that type of goal is incredible. So the growth that he's going to have is incredible. But Juventus were not exciting in the match, really, in the reality, in the actual football of the game. They were actually not excited. But what I liked that they did was they showed a lot of different looks. They were okay playing in the low block for moments. Yeah, they got deep and got punished by Calhanoglu. Not great on defensive set pieces, but there was moments in the game when they needed to go for the game. They needed to go for the game. When they needed to plug in different pieces, they needed to plug in different pieces. I know one thing, the biggest difference between these two teams today and what makes the difference in the end is that one team competes to the end. One team competes for all the loose balls, all the duels that can keep on going, and one team is starting to become a luxury team. Inter is starting to become a team that is in luxury moments, play good football. They're like a boutique item, right? And I like what Kivu did. He took Barella, he took Martinez the 60th minute. See you guys later. Because it's too slow, it's not smart enough, and they're missing an element. And Nigel can explain this better than me probably. There's an element that you can't put on a stat sheet. It takes winning. There's a grit. There's a grit. There's an organization. There's a nastiness. There's an experience that they don't have. They don't have that.
Do you think it could be a hangover from last season, from how close it is to everything?
Probably. I think it's the same team that we saw last season that with a month left to play, they played really good football, and they look like they're going to win the treble, but they're missing this element. It's called the element of winning, the element of being clutch, the element of organizing, managing games, putting them away. The tying goal comes from Bastoni. We've been on this panel. We've actually used the words world-class or Bastoni.
I have.
Insane. Because world-class players don't defend like that, right? Silly fouls, got the attacker going the wrong way, silly foul. Then he gets beat, by the way, on the set piece by Thuram. He gets beat on the set piece. So when you want to win games, yes, there's good football, there's quality, there's this, that, and the other thing, which Inter have, right? But then there's seeing out games, there's being organized. They look
much more than putting it on one player, though. This is not.
No. I got a lot of them circled.
And this is why.
On that sense,
hold on, out of everyone
Barella,
here,
see ya. Martinez, see ya. Go take a seat on the bench in the 60th minute of one of the biggest games of the season. So Kivu has seen something going on here. There's too much luxury.
So you say it's the same. Then why do you have them winning the Scudetto? Why'd you come in having win them Scudetto?
Because the quality that they have. Because the quality that they have. And this is the exact point I'm making. There's quality. But quality is one piece of football.
It's just one small element. Seeing out the game, he's right. Because for me, when you look at the game, this magnitude where you're at, Bastoni has to take responsibility for giving the free kick in that moment there. When he gave away the free kick, I said to Grella, that's a silly free kick to go away. You can't let teams like Juventus or other good teams that you're going to face have a sniff or opportunity to think we can get back into this. Poor free kick to give away. You concede a goal, it changes the mindset. We say goals change games. Juventus, as much as they didn't have as much possession, and I said to you, they look comfortable. They look comfortable, and they have that belief where they can still get something. Inter, for me, look like you could beat this Inter side. They don't look as resilient, as strong as we have seen them before. They look more vulnerable than Juventus did. And Juventus came on, they trust youth, which Inter haven't done as much as this season. Juventus gave the freedom to the youth, no fear, no fear factor whatsoever in a game of this magnitude, and they got the result. It was a fantastic game of football, but for me, you have to give a lot more credit to Juventus than Inter.
It's not a surprise for me with Inter. I've seen these issues. This is why I didn't think that they would win last year, and same thing this year.
You said they would win the treble last year.
No, I said they would not win the Scudetto,
yeah, you do.
actually.
You did.
And you said they would win this year, and already you're throwing it away.
Oh, well, 3 games into the season.
Yeah, okay, and you already said that you would change that position.
Last year you said they're going to win the treble with a month.
What's the reason? They're making the same mistakes. They didn't fix the back line. Yes, they got Akanji in. They got rid of Pavard. That was one of the biggest issues, was to find that. What's the other issue that we've been seeing for a long time? They have no creative spark. They have no player 1v1. Do they lose a game just because of that? No. But it's the signs of not adding this to the roster that they've made mistakes. They have 2 losses in 3 games. The last time they won the Scudetto, they had 2 losses all year long. That's not a team that goes out and wins. It's early. They could still make up for it. But again, I still see those same old mistakes. While they could look beautiful and they could pass the ball around, that's not how you get league titles. That's not how you win Scudetti. They've fallen into the trap, for me, one more time this season.
Do you think there was an element of today Inter would have just been happy with the draw, and that's in a way how they lost it at the end, because they thought, okay, if we can take a point away from Turin, that will be not a bad result for us at this point in the season?
The draw would have been great for Inter. Definitely would have been happy with that. I think both sides would have been happy with that. But the thing with Inter, when Grella says about this, there's ways to see out games. You've got to know as players, when you're on that pitch and you're playing and it's 75, 80 minutes, right, we're 2 up, away from home, shut up shop. Doesn't have to be pretty. We don't have to play for... Shut up shop, be determined, do the basics. Doing the basics is not by giving away a cheap free kick when a player's going away from your goal, knowing now we have to defend in our final third. We put ourselves under pressure against top-class players. It's having that mindset to say, we're going to grind this out no matter what. Forget how we play now. We're going to come out as winners. That's what Inter did not have and do collectively today.
I think for Inter, right, you look at the goals that they conceded today, right, and I hate people always go, oh, yeah, there's a way to stop every goal. No, there's not. The Yildiz goal is unstoppable. He picks up a ball in the soft spot in the midfield, and he turns, and the goal, you can't see the shot coming. The goal from the young Adzic at the end of the game, maybe Sommer can do better. He's got 2 hands on it. Probably should do better, but no spin on the ball. Take nothing away from that. But that's why I started this conversation with Bastoni. We're talking about a player that we say world class, right? People, if you have or you have it, doesn't matter. We're talking about one of the best center backs in the world. At that moment in that game, making that decision to not only make the foul, but then concede on a set piece, and then they concede on another set piece as well. And by the way, the first set piece they score, they lose the first ball, the second ball, the third ball, and the fourth ball. So there's a softness to this team. Don't take anything away from the long-range efforts from Juventus where they really dug deep to find these moments. Okay, fine, and forget about the result. But you're conceding so many set pieces. You're conceding so many first and second balls. Kivu saw what we saw because he took Lautaro Martinez and he took Barella. He's probably his 2 best players, you could say, and said, go have a seat 60 minutes into the game because of their inability to match the competitiveness, inability to match the energy that Juventus that was giving them. So there is something missing big in this Juventus side. And not to mention the Acerbi. It's hard to watch Acerbi play. Don't take anything away from his career, but he's 37 years old. He can't move out there. It's obvious.
And
right?
this is the conversation earlier when we say about moving on to Bisak. Bisak's 24 years old. Yes, he's going to make mistakes, but it's either you say he's going to be the big-time future of this Inter. Like well, if he's not, then you need to sell him. You need to sell him because you can't be asking Acerbi to be doing this week in, week out, what he's doing at his age.
Yeah, but Acerbi
especially when he's
last year, you were all saying he's one of the best defenders and he did so well. He had Acerbi last season.
This is the point of not adding to the. This is the point of not adding to the defense.
You loved Acerbi last season.
Never.
You said he's the perfect person to mark.
You have said you liked Acerbi. You have said back in the day when he did
it. Mistaking me for someone else. Acerbi's a fantastic player. But he's 37 years old. What are we talking about here? 37 years old, you go on the field. We're not talking about Roberto Baggio. We're not talking about Francesco Totti at 37. Okay,
so
1 in a million.
Get rid of him.
Acerbi is the player that you put 37 years old to play center back for your team. Come on, I mean, we have to be realistic.
No, he's good, but it's a high demand to say to do it week in, week out, week in, week out. That is the problem.
Which is why they needed to sign a young profile defender like a Giovanni Leoni was the one that they wanted. They didn't do it. We identified this a long time ago that they needed to add the defense. What did they do? They made a straight swap from Akanji to Pavard. For me, not enough from a club that went to a Champions League final and was nearly winning a treble in the last months. Is that the only issue? No. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of different elements, but that is the one thing that I keep looking at every week with this Inter. We saw it against Udinese. So it's unfortunate because they should be competing at the top level, and I think this is going to hold them back.
For making it as close as that game was, I still feel like you said, they're missing a Yildiz type of player. And They were interested in look.
Why they had to score 6 goals today?
They need. All right, listen. If that's the only way you can do for now until you can rebuild your defence, then so be it. But they need that creative element, because we're watching Lautaro drop off deep to try and get involved in the game, to try and have an influence, and it didn't work. And it goes to how comfortable Juventus were.
So you're saying the attacking side is a bigger issue?
The attacking side is an issue as well. I think they can be able to stay in. But
the car's missing a tire, and Nigel wants to put the radio in. You need a tire first. And in the back, they can't defend. I mean, it's clear as day. You can see 4 goals to a Juventus side that it's not a team that scores a ton of goals.
Grella, you could fix a few of those things there.
Are you going to change your pick then for the Scudetto winner? Do you feel that strongly?
No, well, listen, three matches in, you can't say, okay, we're going to make decisions on the Scudetto. But for sure, they're missing an element.
Parts of the car.
They're missing an element of what it takes to win games. You know, like the 2 teams that look like they have their stuff more together, especially what we learned today, are Juventus and Napoli. 2 teams that, number one, defend really, really well. They're hard to play against. They compete. They don't play. Yeah, they both struggle breaking down low blocks, but they're both good at set pieces. They both cross the ball a ton, and they're defensively very compact. When you watch Inter play, you don't have confidence that they can keep the clean sheet. There's no way. Barring from week 1, where they were fantastic, flew on all cylinders, played a weak Torino side that was a little bit lost. They don't look defensively sound at all.
And here is a look at all of the goal scorers. Adzic is the youngest foreign goal scorer for Juventus in a Derby d'Italia. He's 19 years old and 124 days. It was Yildiz, the player of the month. He's the man of the match. All in agreement with that he was the man of the match today?
You can't argue against it. The goal,
you can't argue against it. The assists, the goals and everything. I mean, there's so many stories in this game, like really and truly. But you have to give it to Yildiz.
Yeah, what a start to the season he's had. Well, it was a roller coaster for all of these players, for the fans in the stands and for the fans all over as well. We had the watch parties over in Los Angeles. Here's a look at the Juventus fan club in Hollywood. Then Inter, it was their turn to celebrate for a second. Can you just imagine even watching this with all your friends and going back and forth?
They're watching it together.
I was funny that moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I couldn't believe it when they told me that they were going to watch it together.
Oh, you can see it in that window there. That picture shows you. The Inter over there.
Yeah.
There's a glass window there. They're separated.
That's good to show the unity.
Fantastic game of football, though, either way, for the neutrals.
Celebrations.
Well, if it was unity, they'll be all together, Marco. You know, they won't be separated.
A little bit of unity. Yeah, you got to take your shirt off when we win.
Look at that.
Oh, Simone Inzaghi. I think he had a 5-0.
Here they are now as well.
Was that Berbatov?
Show the back of your shirt. It shows you the fandom. They're talking about the 5-0 that he had in the Champions League final. Saying unplayable.
Today, Grell, you're a bit hesitant about him taking the number 10 off Del Piero.
It's a big, big shirt to take. That's the reality of the situation, Poppy. You come to a club with a history of Juventus and you take the number 10. It's a big moment as a young player. For sure, you have to ask questions, I think, and we did, and we got the answers today. We got the answers last season towards the end, the tail end of it. Under Thiago Motta, he would play some good games and then be back on the bench. So now we're seeing a Tudor that he's got him going full throttle. And for me, the goal is the best goal he scored for Juventus so far. It's really showing some growth as he continues to go through the games. But for me, it's every time he touches the ball, he's just so direct. He's so fast. He's so quick. He goes straight to defenders. He knows when to pass, when to shoot. And for me, each weekend, he looks like he's getting better.
Into this new role and being able to deal with this pressure, he's embracing it. And now we're starting to see personality. And the goal that he scored there was a young player saying, I know what I'm going to do before I get this ball, gets it, opens up and place it into that far corner. Yeah,
just 20, he plays with a lot of flair and freedom. Does this reflect well on Igor Tudor as well, Grell? Because in the past, Juventus, they've looked not the most attacking team in the world.
Tudor is the other story today that's getting a little bit overshadowed by the great performance of obviously the Adzic goal, which is a big moment, and the great performance of Yildiz, and an unbelievable result for Juventus. Tudor is getting a little bit overshadowed in these conversations. You have to give this guy credit, by the way. Marco makes the point that they were looking for everyone under the sun to replace him. They did not think he was the guy. And maybe he's still not. It's early days, but the substitutions, his demeanor on the sideline. If there's anyone who understands Juventus inside and out, it's him. He's been there, he's played there, he's won there. He was a fantastic player. He's a decent coach coming into the situation as well, and he has tried now he tried to give Vlahovic another chance today. He's made him look good through the first 2 games. Koopmeiners was a really poor performance, but again, Tudor, has been perfect so far on the season, not statistically, but also just his substitutions and everything. And he looks like he's getting the best out of his guys. His guys want to compete for him, and the energy was today perfect.
He seems like a manager as well, right? We've heard a lot of stories about Thiago Motta and the way that he isolated certain players. You hear what Tudor says in his press conference. He's always taking the pressure away. He's always trying to protect his players, and you're going to get the reactions that you're getting right now. And it's also understanding to play players in their more natural positions. And that was one thing with Kenan Yildiz, where he said, I didn't like that he was so far away from goal, right? He was too wide. That's not where you're effective. You're effective when you're playing inside, and obviously those are the key moments that we're seeing. So it's amazing for us to cover Yildiz, see his growth, and see where he's going to come by the end of the season.
It says a lot about his ego, doesn't it? The fact that they did try to bring in so many people to replace him, and he's still there, and now he's reaping the rewards as well with Juventus at the top of the Serie A table.